Hi. So this goes beyond the fact that COVID-19 is a hoax. However, this goes to how then do you perpetrate the hoax into the system of people who should otherwise know better, or so-called professionals, right? So that's the particular test I'm going to show you. So then if you take something like a control or a hot shot right here, which in this envelope we'll go ahead and I'll open it and I'll show you something. And I'll open one of these test deals right here just so you can see it. Alright. I'll go ahead and open up this one. This will be the control. Then I'm going to do something. I'm going to ask you something. Consider a question. So what else comes in here is just a desiccant pack. What's interesting is what's on the end there. If you can see that. Oops. There you go. The pink. That pink. What I'm going to do now is, here's the idea. Is if you have a control and you can then make that control say that you have COVID-19, I can then just put every 3rd, 5th, 20th swab can be contaminated, or I can just contaminate the liquid that you stick these swabs into. You know how every so many of these vials will just have contaminated liquid, which will then test positive to the so-called COVID. So I'm going to show you how this control test works. Okay. So if you take this would be the swab. So you go yoink, yoink. All right. Then I put it into this guy. Now just remember on the test, it says it takes 15 minutes. You'll see a reaction quite quickly. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to go ahead and take this right here, just so you see it. It's going to soak for a minute, but what I need to do is contaminate one of these. Now these would be just coming in strips. These are the regular swabs. They should just be neutral, right? Nothing. I'll just go ahead and open one so I can contaminate it with the same liquid. If I can get it, there you go. So now this would be the same, one of those same deals where you would, here it is. Where is it at? Whoop. There you go. See? So it just kind of goes like this. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just slip it in there. Just contaminate the tip. Boop. Whoop. Dropped out that one. Now these two I'm going to go ahead and put into one of these little kits. So I'm going to drip some of the water there, which is supposed to be 3 drips. Alright, and then I'll go ahead and I'll just stick it in there, just make sure, rub it. Alright, so that's going to be the one. This will be the second one. Both of these should test positive. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this on there. Okay. And then I'm going to use, all I'm going to use, being that this was stuck in the contaminated liquid, is I'm just going to take one of these that shouldn't be contaminated and stick it in there and just see if it contaminates the liquid. And now I just pour that into there. Alright. Now it's going up. So that's all out of the way. Boom, boom. Now these are 2 more supposed tests. I'll just open them and then just open the package and just do it as if it was just normal, right? They're not trying to set someone up or to set a certain number up. That's why you can have a so-called, you know, you can just tell a computer just to say, hey, this other person is positive, but to have somebody at the lab actually have to sit there and see it, at some point they're going to have to see some sort of reaction, right? And have a comparative reaction. Otherwise they'll kind of get onto the hoax quite quickly. So anyways, this goes boink boink. You stick it in there, right? Then you go ahead and you put the liquid into This is basically just really reactive, almost like a pH strip. So it's just the liquid, which this is just a neutral. The control is going to show you what would be a scale, and let me show you that real quick on here. It shows you that scale, so your positive, you'll have a control line on top and you'll have a positive line, or two lines, a second line show up somewhere within that scale area. Alright? Now there's a computer or a little box that goes with this that's optical. You can stick it in and it will go ahead and show you, or it'll show a gradation, alright, or a change, because the control should always be right in the middle. Alright, so then let me go ahead and put this in there. This would be the last one. So this is just yet another or just a normal, just somebody who walks up to the thing. Okay, so then now we have those 4 tests, right? So I'm going to show you the control because it's already reacting. So now you can see that that control is showing you that the person would then be tested positive for the COVID, right? You see that. That's what the control looks like. Now remember, I had that second one which I contaminated, which would be, you know, the idea of the James Bond villain, who's in this case the Bill Gates character, sends out just tainted swabs, and lo and behold that they also test positive. All right. So then look at these. These would be the controls for the so-called negative, or just the normal, you know, no reaction tests. You see the control line on top is showing. This one needs a little bit more time, but it's showing. You can see it. And then of course there will be no second line because they are not contaminated, like the so-called positive ones. Anyway, so then that is how you would produce a hoax. If you needed to have an active result that goes to a lab that people could actually see and be confused by, because these people would supposedly be professional. So then you just send out in every so often swabs, which no one has to know about. It's just done at the factory. It just gives you an idea of this solution, which would probably be the easiest method, I would think. The solution itself, or the drops in something like this. If you get a kit that has, this would be a bulk item like a dropper, I'm guessing that this would be the easiest way to then introduce the positive, because it's the one-off, one that you could send every 20 or every 40 or every 85 swabs. That person would be seemingly randomly positive. All right, so anyways, that's how that works. So you can see, I'll come in for the final deal here. I'll whip it around here. Oops. So you have the first control that I did is positive. That person would say, oh, they have it. Then the one I tainted, which is, the villain theory I'm putting out, which is deliverable in 2 different methods, either through the swab itself, the tainted swab, the hot shot, the tainted hot shot, or you could just put it in liquid, of course, and then these hot shots would be every so often, right? Either way. And then, of course, you have the 2 people who are like, oh, yo, I don't have the boogie bug. All right? It's all right. Be blessed. Be free in Christ. And know that this is all hocus pocus BS nonsense. They can give this to anyone that they choose, because it's just a voodoo. It's basically a voodoo creation. All right. Anyways, be blessed. Cheers. Be free in Christ. Through Jesus Christ you're saved and pulled out of this place. While physically you're still here, obviously. Spiritually you're out. And it's a wonderful experience. Cheers. Be blessed.